Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to talk about how to improve lighting for video. And I'm quite confident that you're going to see some things in this video that you haven't ever seen in any other video lighting episode. So stay tuned. All right, I've got Emily London Miller here with me, and the reason that she's here, she's actually taught me a lot about lighting. Now, the style of video that I do, I work with a lot of influencers. I position people as experts. You know, we're not doing acting or anything like that with lots of crazy lighting, but I was really drawn to your style of photography because you do beauty photography, and your style of lighting really brings out the best of people, and that's what I'm trying to do. Video is different because you know, you can be moving or you're not holding a specific shot, but we're going to walk around and we're going to show what the setup that we've got here and talk about lighting. First of all, let's actually come over here. So tell me what this is here, Emily.
Okay, so this is a V flat, this entire thing. It's not something that you can buy completely assembled like this. It's essentially two separate flats is what I would call them.
This folds. Because I've got gaffer tape in the middle there.
Yep. So on the front, or on one side of each piece, they're white, and on the other side, they're black. And these are actually made out of polystyrene. So it's something that you can get from like a framer, or I got mine on uline.com.
What's the benefit? What's the big benefit of using these?
Okay, so when I use these in my studio, I use them for a number of things. I can actually put two V-flats together and create a background out of them. Or I can use the white side to basically bounce and reflect light. And I can do that using natural light coming from a window, or as we've done here, you actually have put together two ice lights that are mounted one on top of the other and pointing into the V-flat.
So let's show a comparison. So Patrick, if you could come over here, actually you stand in here, and let's have Emily and I will stand right here. We're going to turn the ice light. Let's turn these ones off. Okay, so let's just see a difference here. So now we've got the ice light aiming directly at us, and it's tall, so it's got some, I don't know the word, it's diffused a little bit horizontally or vertically.
It's going to have a nice placement. One of the things that I look for when I'm creating lighting for a client with artificial light is where are the catch lights in the eyes. So let me look at you really quick. Mm-hmm. If I'm looking at it from the camera's perspective, your catch light in your eyes, you actually have two of them because there are two lights stacked on each other. The lower one is about 3 or 4 o'clock, and the higher one is about 2 o'clock. And I like to have the lighting at about 2 o'clock is like a sweet spot. And part of that is because it's beautiful in your eyes, but also part of it is because of how it flatters your facial features. So the placement of the lights is a pretty big deal. You don't want your light source to be too low. But what's happening now with this light is that it's pretty specular. That means it's a really tiny light source, and so it's creating real bright little, highlights on, like the tip of your nose and in your, let's look at it from the camera's perspective, like underneath your cheekbone right here and here. And it's also creating some harsh shadows. So you've got some shadowing coming, that isn't necessarily the most flattering. So what happens then if we switch the light?
Yeah, let's turn this around.
And now we've got, the camera guy is wearing dark, so he's blocking some of our light. But you can kind of see that if we come forward, let more of that light come onto us, that you can see it softened that light up. Now you might need to change your camera settings from one to the other. It was quite bright before, so you'd have to dial down your camera. And now it's a little bit less light, but it's more controlled light. So you might have to boost your camera to put in more light to the camera, but it would be worth it to have the soft quality of light.
And one thing that I want to point out, and the reason I've been drawn to these ice lights is because they are so small. So when I put them here, I can reflect against it and it's not blocking the light that's coming back. And so I've got 15 different soft boxes that I've accumulated over the years, but once I first had two, I've got two stacked on top of each other. I first had two and I love them so much that now I've got the 4. So another light that I want to show is this big old Kino Flo. I want to hear your perspective on how you would use a light like this. Let me turn it on.
Do you know what? Honestly, I have wanted to get a light like this for a long time. I don't use this in my studio.
We're aiming the camera right into the
Yeah,
light.
right into the light. But I've seen them being used on video production sets all the time. And most of the time, the way that they're used is suspended from a track on the ceiling. And then there are going to be several Kinos in a row lighting a space with a very even wash of light. One Kino like this could be a little specular, just like that direct light from our ice light.
So how I use it, we used this yesterday, and we wanted to show, Patrick, if you could show outside. We've got, you know, we're in a downtown setting. We've got buildings and activity going on out there. We've got the street, but a lot of times when you're standing in front of a window, the background, you know, if I got good lighting on myself, it really washes out the background. So we use the Kino light, which is a much more powerful light to add here so that we can make better use of what's in the background. That's why I used that yesterday. So another thing that I want to talk about is even turning off the lights, the power of reflected light. If we come over here, okay, so this looks pretty cool because we've got a lot of natural light coming in from the window, and I'm not the expert here, but what I learned from you is being able to reflect some light back. So let me grab this B flat. Okay, so even me standing here blocking some of the reflective light, even I, as my amateur photographer self here, you can see a big difference.
When you're standing in this position, you don't have a reflective, light source that's going to help bring this window light around you. One of the tricks that you can do if you don't have a reflector with you is to just angle your subject towards the light a little bit. Even just looking right at the camera, you can see the difference between having your face out towards me this way, and here is just a little bit more flattering, beautiful light because it's lighting more of the front of your face rather than just one side of your face. Go.
So thanks, Emily. I really appreciate the stuff I've learned from you, and hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Be sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube, and on LinkedIn, let's try something new. Let's share, because you can share. It's a social platform.
Cool.
You can do that on YouTube. For those who want to know more about you and what you do with portrait photography, where do they find you?
So I'm online at emilylondonportraits.com, and you can find me on Instagram at emilylondonportraits.
Okay, we'll put links down below.
Yeah.